So today we will be covering the clavicle. So there's two projections of the clavicle, the AP and the AP axial. So I'm working from the outside in. I have my book open to clavicle. I have my technique already set up, my KV and my mass based on the measurement in the technique book, but I will be adjusting once I measure my patient. I have it on wall bucky because clavicles are typically done in the erect position. And I have one image receptor already in the wall bucky and then one here behind the control panel. So I'm ready with that. I am going to grab my gloves and I'm going to cover my exposure buttons with paper towels or something to keep as a barrier. I will check my requisition and ensure that it is the clavicle that I'm doing, which side that I'm doing, so that I can verify with my patient. Hello, ma'am. Hi, we're going to be taking some pictures of your clavicle. So if you could just come and walk right on over here to this board. Now when you're doing the clavicle, you want to ensure that your patient doesn't have any artifacts, so any necklaces, anything metal that may be in her area of her clavicle would need to be removed. I see you have a necklace on there. Can you just go ahead and slip that off for me and we can put that on the table, and that way we can put it right back on as soon as we get done. So this is a 40-inch SID with a perpendicular beam. I have the 8x10 in here crosswise. I already have my calipers that are here by my shield. So if you could just put your left shoulder right here back behind this, just flat up against the board there, straight, flat, just like that. All right, now our center ray is going to be mid-clavicular area, so I would just slightly palpate her clavicle. I'm just going to raise this up here in front of you. All right, and then back behind you, I'm going to move this board. We'll match this up to where the center of her clavicle is. Okay. I've already placed my marker, and you see that it's in clean light, so it is going to be out of her pertinent anatomy. And I can collimate down a little bit head to toe. Now it doesn't matter how you have her arm position. It does not have to be palm out or in, because we're only looking at your clavicle from your SC joints over to your AC joints. So make sure that your light is hitting from mid-manubrium all the way out to mid-humerus. I'm going to have my patient turn and look her head that way for radiation protection. And now I'm just going to get a measurement right through this central ray location. To keep my finger on there so I don't lose that. I'm placing a shield right in front of you here, okay? You just hold very still like that, and in just a minute I'm going to tell you to stop breathing. Just hold very still. I'm going to take this measurement around here and I'm going to compare it to the one that I have in the book and already set up, and it is within 1 centimeter, so I do not have to change anything. Ma'am, I want you to stop breathing at this point. Beep. Okay, you can breathe and relax. I will then take in my image receptor for my next one. Just stay just like that. That's perfect. I'm just going to be moving around my x-ray tube here. So I'm going to remove the exposed plate and put in the new one. Now this is going to be a 10 to 15 degree cephalic angle. So I'm adding 2, so that's going from 90 to about 100. I'll lower this down. I'm going to reassess my mid-clavicular area, and then I'm going to adjust once again, coming up behind you. Okay. Now this one we do not have to do the tape measure, because as I've stated, with the wall bucky, you have to either be at a 40 or a 72-inch SID in order for it to make its exposure. So we cannot pull it out and do the angle. We will leave it the way it is. My marker stayed exactly the same. My collimation is going to stay exactly the same. The only thing I changed was I put a 15-degree cephalic angle on it. And now I'm going to tell my patient to take in a nice deep breath and hold it in, because that's going to raise her clavicle up over her chest area a lot more than just suspended respiration. So I'm going to measure once again, and if you could turn your head and look towards that wall once again. I'm going to hold my finger here so I can keep my measurement. My shield never moved. I'm going to grab my exposed imaging receptor and I'm going to walk out. Make sure you keep an eye on the patient so she doesn't move. I will run this after I wipe it down because I did touch my patient and the Imageceptor. I'm going to look, and it's the exact same measurement and the same technique. This time, ma'am, taking a nice deep breath, deep in, hold it, beep. You can breathe and relax. Okay. If you would like to have a seat right over there where you were, I need to check these images and make sure that they look okay before I release you. I would run these plates and make sure that they are acceptable, and my patient would be free to go.